Welcome to another edition of the Bullhorn. Today I'm going to be talking about California cannabis in 2025. It was about a month ago. The legislative session in California ended. And we got, I guess you could call it a small victory. The excise tax was supposed to go up from 15% to 19%. That was 25% increase. And then it did go up. It was supposed to go up July 1st, and then it did go up. But then the California legislature, in all their wisdom, passed a bill reversing that. And then I couldn't believe this happened, but it really did happen, everybody. Gavin Newsom, the governor, signed the bill. And so now, instead of the excise tax being 19%, it is 15%. Okay, 15% is still crazy high, folks. That's just the excise tax. You've got local cannabis taxes on top of that. In a place like many places in the East Bay and LA, that can be 10%. And then you've got sales tax on top of that, which is about another 10% in most places in California. And so you're talking about 35 to 45% tax on cannabis, depending on what county, city, jurisdiction you're in. And that's just driving everybody to underground market. For the last 3 years, the licensed market in California has shrunk. It is still shrinking. This excise tax thing is not going to reverse that. Okay, it's like putting a Band-Aid on somebody who just got their arm chopped off, right? It doesn't work. And so there's a lot more that needs to be done with that. The other bill that I not crazy about is the hemp bill called AB-8. What AB-8 essentially does is makes all hemp products be sold in dispensaries and go through the same regulatory and taxes and lab testing and all the rest that all the licensed products have to go through. That's crazy, okay? No one's going to do that. And the one good thing about AB-8, the one small sliver of goodness in it, is that if you can get a hemp license in California to produce hemp products, you can ship them out of state and you can drive them around in California without restriction. But you can't sell them in California unless they go through the dispensaries, right? The products themselves have been banned, and they're being banned across the country. Because all these license frameworks, mostly in blue states, but in almost all the states, they don't work, okay? They're failing. And none of these companies, very few of the companies, especially dispensaries, especially retailers, especially cultivators, aren't profitable. Manufacturers, folks in the middle of that supply chain, some of them who do a good job are profitable, but not very profitable in the licensed sector. Whereas in hemp, things have been quite different, right? And yes, I do think hemp needs a little tiny bit more regulation. We need age gating. We need accurate labeling. We need some lab testing, basic lab testing, to make sure there aren't heavy metals, pathogens, molds, pesticides, that sort of thing in it. But we don't need all of these regulations and taxes that you see in licensed cannabis. So, not happy with AB-8. Not happy with the hemp ban in California. This is one plant. When are we going to get it through our thick heads? This is one plant, folks. And cannabinoids are cannabinoids. And so what we really need is a framework that's going to treat this as one plant. Do we need this to be on the Controlled Substances Act schedule? No, we don't need cannabis scheduled at all. Remove it from the schedule. What do we need? Do we need onerous taxes on cannabis? No. All that does is drive people to the legacy market. Do we need, all these layers of regulation on this product that alcohol doesn't have, or tobacco doesn't have, or food doesn't have? No, you don't need that. What do you need? You need to make sure no one underage gets the product unless they are a patient and they need it. Okay, can't forget about the patients, man. We have just lost that with adult use legalization, especially here in California, man. We were so good with the patients, and it's just been destroyed. So we need age gating, we need lab testing, we need accurate labeling, and that's pretty much all we need. If you have that in hemp, all these problems in hemp go away, right? Because people aren't going to be able to claim 20,000 milligrams in a box of gummies, okay? They're going to have a lab test that catches that, and they're going to have a label, right? And there's probably going to be some kind of potency limit, right? But that's what I'm advocating for right now. One plan, one framework, the 3 golden pillars. Attorney Rod Kite had it right and has it right. And this is what we need to do as a community. This is what's going to bring it together. And yes, that means cannabis is going to be more widely sold in various different outlets. And if you're a dispensary owner, which I was for 15 years, you might be worried about that, right? But if you do a good job, all right, and you create the right model, there are alcohol bottle shops that are fancy bottle shops that are not liquor stores, are not convenience stores, are not gas stations, and they do a good business, okay? Because there's all kinds of craft producers, not in alcohol, right? And you can get that. Just like tobacco shops that sell high-end tobacco and cigars, they also do well. So that's what I want to see happen in California. That's what should happen in California. And this Band-Aid on the taxes is not going to work. This AB-8 and banning hemp and forcing it through a framework, it's just not going to work, folks. And I think all of us that are in the California industry right now, we know that. In our hearts, we know that. If you're an owner and operator in California right now, you probably know that more than anybody. And, I get it. If you're licensed, you feel threatened by hemp. If you're hemp, you feel threatened by the bans that are largely being driven by lobbying dollars from license. So we're basically in a conflict with each other and a giant circular firing squad. And you know what happens in circular firing squads? No one's left standing. All right. And all we're doing is empowering prohibitionists, driving everybody to the legacy market, and destroying this beautiful cannabis community and small cannabis entrepreneurs, craft cannabis entrepreneurs here in California have pretty much already been destroyed. They're being destroyed more every single day as this market collapses. So if we want this market to avoid collapse, we're going to need massive reform on a big level, and we may need another ballot initiative because I just don't think it can happen in Sacramento. I just don't think it's going to happen that way. So that's what I'm advocating for. I'm sure you have strong opinions about this. Drop it in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell me how you feel, right? Because it's a conversation, and let's be nice to each other, okay? Because we need to learn how to disagree more agreeably, man. I'm seeing so much vitriol in social media within our own community. Come on. We've got to be able to do better than that. Unity. Unity, unity. That is what we must achieve together. And it's not easy, it's hard, but the first step is being kind, especially when we disagree. So that's my roundup on California cannabis. Woo! We got a long way to go. We had a small victory with the excise tax, but man, so much more reform we have to do. So all you Californians out there, let's join together in unity. Let's try to get it done in the coming legislative session next year.
Mamdani showed us how it's done. Gathered up his community. Volunteers and change agents won. That's the blueprint to be free. And